Hello everyone, my name is Dr. P. Balaraju, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, SRR Gout Arts and Science College, Karimnagar. So today we are going to discuss about chromosomes. Okay, chromosomes are fine rod-like structures present in the nuclei of cells. These rod-like structures were first observed by Karl Nageli in 1842. Later on, Strasburger observed in the many stages of cell division. Okay, so chromosomes, meaning that chromo means colored, having some color. Zoma means body. So Waldeyer named these uh, darkly staining spots in the nuclei as a chromosomes. Waldeyer named them as chromosomes because of their darkly staining nature. Okay, they can observe the staining during cytological studies. So later on, Sutton and Baveri said that the chromosomes are the physical carriers of genetic information from one generation to another. Okay, so in these chromosomes, the long thread-like DNA molecule packed in the chromosomes. Okay, just you're watching in the slide. The chromosomes are present in the nucleus of cell. So the chromosomes contain the genetic information carrying DNA molecule. Okay. So here the morphology, structure and size of the chromosomes can be observed very clearly during the cell divisions. Okay, particularly in the metaphase and anaphase stages. For studying the chromosome morphology in the mitotic division, generally onion root tips squash method is used to study the mitotic to study the chromosomes morphology and size, structure. We can use onion root tips and the method is squash method to study the morphology of chromosomes in meiotic division, that is the reduction division. We can use flower buds because meiosis occurs in sexual cells. Okay, mother cells of pollen grains, mother cells of endo female gametes. So here we can use to study the structure of chromosomes in meiosis the flower buds of Terescantia. Sometimes we can also use flower buds of onion. Okay, sometimes maize testals also can be used to study the meiotic chromosomes morphology. Okay, and let's come to there are two important terms in the chromosome structure, chromonemata and chromatid. Actually, during the cell division, okay, so there are two phases, interphase and mitotic phase or division phase, cell division phase and interphase. So in the interphase, the chromatin network, chromatin net, the chromatin material present in the chromatin net. So this chromatin net, a fine thin thread-like structure coils around it and spread all over the nucleus. So this coiled thin thread-like structure of chromosome is known as chromonymata. Simply, chromosome in interphase looks like a thin coiled structure. This is known as chromonymata. So after interphase, whenever the cell enters to the division phase, M phase, so the chromosome slowly condenses to appear very clearly. This condensed form of chromosome is known as chromatid. Okay, so during M phase, so here the chromonymata and chromatid are the synonyms of the same structure chromosome. So chromatid is a condensed form, chromonymata is a pro-condensed form. It is in interphase, it is in M phase. Generally in division phase, every chromosome has two chromatids symmetrically arranged chromatids. Okay, so actually the chromonymata in interphase, the thin coiled thread-like structure is known as chromonymata. This chromonymata coils, having some bead-like structures, some folding-like structures. So these are called as chromonemes. Chromonymata having some bead-like structures, right? Very small folding-like structures, bead-like structures. These are known as chromonemes. Okay. So here the chromosome packed in some matrix, achromatic amorphous substance is known as matrix, and a matrix having some pellicle, okay, the superficial layer pellicle. So chromosome contains a matrix and pellicle layer, outer superficial layer, right? So the chromosome having some matrix and pellicle layer. So here, if you see the structure of chromosome, we can find some parts, you know. So the first part is known as primary construction, right? Primary construction. This is, it is also known as centromere. Primary construction, that is centromere, right? So here the primary construction is nothing but it is a heavily stained part of the chromosome. That part can take some excess amount of stain during the chromosome staining. So that densely stained part of the chromosome is known as centromere or primary construction. So at the centromere, the DNA either side of the centromere and in the centromere region, the DNA is highly repetitive heterochromatic DNA around the centromere. Okay, around the centromere, either side of the centromere, the DNA having heterochromatic DNA. So that is a highly repetitive DNA. And moreover, at centromere, there is a disc-like proteinaceous structure that is known as kinetochore, right? So kinetochore always having with microtubules. Apart from microtubules, the disc of the kinetochore having a short filaments of corona, microtubules and a short filaments of corona, right? And middle DNA, highly repetitive DNA, and in between them there is a matrix like substances are there, right? So a trilamellar structure we can see here. Outer disc-like kinetochore, a protein plate, and middle matrix-like structure, and inner DNA thread. Okay, so this is the centromere primary construction. And along apart from the centromere, there are secondary construction also there in some chromosomes, not all in all the chromosomes. In some chromosomes, in some special chromosomes, apart from primary construction, that means centromere, there are some secondary constructions also there. So in secondary construction, it has the DNA, the genetic information in the secondary construction is coding for ribosomal RNA. The DNA molecule present in the secondary construction having some ribosomal RNA coding genes. So this part can code for rRNA. rRNA translates into DNA, some proteins. So here rRNA, protein, and secondary construction altogether forms nucleolus. So that's why the secondary construction is known as organizer of nucleolus. Organizer of nucleolus. Okay. Remember, sometimes in some other chromosomes, secondary construction, more than one secondary construction also there. Secondary construction 1, secondary construction 2, right? But usually one centromere primary construction and one secondary construction is there. So here after secondary construction in some other chromosomes, in secondary construction, a short ball-like structure is there that is known as satellite. The satellite having chromosomes are called as SAT chromosomes. Okay, so it is also a special genetic information having part of the chromosome, right? SAT chromosome. The SAT chromosome and secondary construction, these are very specific to the chromosome, and their position is also very specific. That is why they can be used to identify the chromosomes. Okay, we can use it to identify the chromosomes. Yeah, just we see here, this is the satellite. Okay, and based on the centromere, the chromosome having two arms. The short arm is known as P arm, right? This is known as P arm. The long arm of the chromosome is known as Q arm, right? So here, based on the centromere, the position of the centromere is very specific, very prominent. It is very constant, right? So based on the centromere and the short arm, okay, it has two arms. The short arm is known as P arm. The long arm is known as Q arm. And moreover, so sometimes some chromosomes, usually chromosomes having only one centromere. Centromere is very important during the separation of chromosomes during the cell division, particularly in anaphase, because microtubules attached to the kinetochore of the centromere, they, by the pull and push mechanism, the chromatids of a chromosome can be separated. They can move to the opposite poles, right? So that's why the centromere position is very important. Usually, a chromosome having only one centromere, right? That is monocentric chromosome. Usually, chromosomes are monocentric chromosomes, right? Sometimes some chromosomes having two centromeres, They are known as dicentric chromosomes, right? Sometimes more than two centromeres, they are known as polycentric chromosomes. Very rare cases, chromosomes do not contain centromere, so that's why these chromosomes are known as acentric chromosomes. That means no centromere in the chromosome. What will happen? So a chromosome without centromere, they cannot segregate, they cannot separate to the during the cell division to the any either of the folds. That's why they are eliminated during the cell division, right? They can lead to the lethal mutations, because every time one generation to another generation, the chromosome number is very specific for a species, for a organism, right? A chromosome, if without centromere, what will happen? That particular chromosome missing in the cell division, which cannot enter to the daughter cells, right? So that's why one of the daughter cell misses. One of the daughter cell can having the one chromosome less in number, so it leads to the lethal, lethal character, and it is a mutation, lethal mutation, right? So that's why the having the centromere is very very important to segregate the chromosomes, right? Either of the daughter cells, and to maintain the constant number of chromosomes for a species or organism. Sometimes, actually, the microtubules, okay, microtubules attaches to the entire chromosome. So that means there is no specific position in the centromere of a chromosome. The microtubules can attach entire chromosome. So in that scenario, the centromere, the chromosome is said to be holocentric centromere. Okay, so the holocentric centromere, and right, acentric, monocentric, polycentric, holocentric, right? So this is the based on the number of centromeres, these are the chromosome types, right? Right, this is also one of the structure, pellicle, matrix, secondary construction, satellite, chromonemata, right, and a kinetochore, right? Spindle fibers means microtubules, kinetochore. It is a disc-like protein structure. It is associated with the centromere, either side of the centromere, right? And yeah, this is also one of the important thing, right? I already told you, a centromere, just around the centromere or either side of the centromere, the genetic information is very very highly repetitive DNA sequence. So it is means inactive DNA sequence, right? It is a heterochromatin. It is a heterochromatic region. It is means densely stained part, right? Colored part densely stained, which can stain heavily. And telomerase also highly repetitive DNA sequences. Telomerase, right? Telomerase uh, means a very end part of the extreme end parts of the chromosomes are known as telomeres, right? Telomeres first observed by Muller. So here telomeres also having repetitive sequences, hundreds of times, thousands of times, having repetitive sequences. Okay, it is Ag riched, A means Ag, adenine guanine riched area. Here the telomeres. Uh, Due to the telomeres can prevent the union of one chromosome to the other chromosome. You know, they can prevent the sticking of one end of the chromosome to the other chromosome, and more importantly, telomeres can protect the chromosomes. Uh, what we can say that deletion. Uh, telomeres can protect the means chromosome from what we can say that during cell division every time some part of the DNA may be deleted, right? May be deleted during the it may be left over during the DNA replication if there is no telomeres. If telomeres are short, what will happen? Every time some portion of the DNA, some portion of the uh, genetic information missing. Every time per every cycle of the replication. So there is a telomeres are, if they are very long, means they having very repetitive sequences, very long repetitive sequences. The telomere can protect the chromosomes from disintegration. Disintegration of chromosomes. Telomeres can prevent the disintegration of chromosomes because every time telomeres are having a special sequence. This sequence codes for an enzyme, telomerase enzyme. Telomerase enzyme can increase the it can add the repetitive sequences, up to maximum level. Okay, so if the length of the telomere is more, the cell or the organism would be young because it can divide many times because telomere length is more, right? If the telomere length is very short, that particular cell can divide a few times. Okay, then what will happen? After a few times the cell division is arrested. If the cell division is arrested, the cell can mature and die. Okay, so it leads to the aging. you know so the telomere is proportional to the length of the telomere is proportional to the number of cell divisions, number of DNA replication cycles. If the telomere length is high, cell can divide many times, and the cell would be in the young stage. Okay, so there is no aging. If the telomere length is very short, number of cell divisions are very few, and eventually cell division stops after some divisions, and which can grow. That means the cell becomes age. you know so it leads to the aging. So the telomere, the length of the telomere, the telomerase are related to the aging, related to the cell division. So based on this character, the telomerase is used its significance in cancer. Cancer is nothing but highly repetitive divisions, uncontrolled division of cell leads to the cancer. If we exploit the characteristic of telomerase, we can easily cure the cancer, right? If we inactivate the telomerase enzyme, what will happen? The telomere strength is telomere length is very short, and it will stop dividing after few divisions. So what will happen? Automatically cancer is stopping there, right? So the telomerase and telomeres are used to treat cancer. It is a very, very important thing, right? And one more thing, not only the number of centromeres, Usually, a chromosome having only one centromere, but the position of centromere is also very, very important. In some chromosomes, the centromere present at any part, at any end of the chromosome, at any either side, at any end of the chromosome. So here in this particular type of chromosome, only one arm is present, that is known as telocentric chromosome. In telocentric chromosome, the centromere position is terminal. So in that particular chromosome, only one arm is present. Okay, so it looks like a rod shape in the anaphase of cell division. Okay, telocentric. So the second type is acrocentric, means the centromere position is just near to the apex, subterminal. We can say that subterminal, just below the apex of the chromosome. So here the chromosome having only very short arm and very long arm. So this is known as acrocentric chromosome. This chromosome also looks like a rod shape in the anaphase of the cell division. And the third type is submetacentric. So here the centromere position is just away from the middle point of the chromosome, right? So that is submetacentric chromosome. So during the cell division, this particular submetacentric chromosome in anaphase, it looks like L shape or J shape. During the separation of chromosomes in anaphase, it looks like L shape or J shape. The last one is metacentric chromosome. That means the centromere position is center of the chromosome. So here in that particular chromosome, the two arms are equal because centromere position is center, middle of the chromosome. So during the separation of the chromosomes in anaphase, this chromosome looks like V shape. Okay, so here based on the position of the centromere, the chromosomes are four types. That is telocentric, centromere position is terminal. Acrocentric, the centromere position is subterminal, right? Submetacentric, the centromere position is just away from the middle part of the chromosome. Metacentric chromosome means the centromere position is exactly middle of the chromosome. So that's why telocentric, acrocentric, submetacentric, metacentric, depending upon the position of the centromere, right? So actually, I told you in interphase, in resting phase, the chromosome appears like a thin, fine, coiled thread-like structure that is known as chromonumata. Okay. When the chromosome enters into the division phase, M phase, this thin coiled, chromonumata condenses itself to visible. So this is known as chromatid. Actually, chromatid, chromatid, right? This chromosome having uh, particularly two identical asymmetrical chromatids. After end of the S phase, a chromosome having two chromatids, sister chromatids, symmetrical chromatids, but they are not separated. When the chromosome enters to the cell division, enters to the prophase, okay, till they are not separated, right? The middle of the prophase and just just before the metaphase, chromosomes, the chromatids, sister chromatids, symmetrical sister chromatids open, okay, and they are just joined at the centromere position. Centromere position. The rest of the part is they are free, just they are connected at centromere position. Okay, so the after S phase, during the S phase, what will happen? Synthesis, the replication of DNA happens. A chromosome having one DNA copy, after replication, a chromosome having two DNA copies. So that's why a chromosome splits into two chromatids. So these chromatids can join at centromere position. The rest of the parts they are free. That's why a chromosome having two chromatids during the cell division. They are sister chromatids. Okay. So in interphase, the chromosome without chromatids, without condensation, it appears like a thin coiled thread-like structure. It is known as chromonymata. Right. So once I am repeating once again, chromonymata and chromatid. These two are the synonyms. Chromonymata name we can use for a chromosome in interphase. Chromatid or chromatids we can use to represent the chromosome in division phase. Okay, condensed form. That is the difference, right? Chromomeres are the coilings, the coilings of the chromonymata. Chromonemes are coilings, or they look like beads. Altogether they look like beads, or coilings, they look like together beads. These coilings or these beads of chromonymata are called as chromonemes. Just remember it. Okay, so this is the structure of chromosome.